All right, the strings are going, the songs are on, and you are tuned into the show right here on Shaw TV, episode number 99. The great one, of course, a number worn in the NHL by Rick Dudley with the Winnipeg Jets, Wilf Paymont with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and some other guy. Anyways, our musical guests in behind me, the duo of Roger Welliver and Abbey Grace, calling them Welliver's Travels and Amazing Grace. They're playing some really cool instruments, including a homemade shoebox guitar. A very cool look and a very cool sound. We're going to talk to them and smoke up a couple songs later on this hour. Now, sort of inspired by our host Paul Wynn and his fitness endeavors on our last episode, Joanne is now getting on the healthy train, albeit with a fewer fluorescent colors in her outfit. She's going to try something called Sloth Yoga. Not to be confused with that Sloth Yoda, so instead we'll be using our force and joining the Rest Revolution. Oh, you got that one. Nice one, Raymond. Joining the Rest Revolution with Joanne and fitness trainer Julie Horwood. Now, Lewis Beck, aka Beck to the Future, is going to join a little bit more about an organization called Let Me Be Me. It's a non-for-profit learning foundation that actually is quite fun to say, but also helps people out there who learn differently. Happy to have Laura Lee Hopkins and Carla Schimmelhorn here from Let Me Be Me to see we with glee on TV, Mes Amis. All right, we're also going to throw a very worthy spotlight on the great work being done by the Alzheimer Society of BC, in particular, the Mid-Island branch. Brian Sugiyama, he's going to sit down and chat with Jane Hope, which is so glad we finally have Hope on the show here. Anyway, she's the support and education coordinator for the Mid-Island branch of the Alzheimer Society. Now, Joanne, who's pretty much going to look more fit than anyone else in the entire city after the end of the show, she's going to continue her look at fitness with by visiting the Candy Crisis Center, no doubt springing up to combat some overzealous trick-or-treating. Anyways, she will be talking with fitness transformation specialist Miguel Diaz, so prepare to be dazzled. All right, Lewis is also going to take a look at the Nanaimo Arts Council's annual Festival of Banners, which has put some amazing citizen-created art all across Nanaimo for the past almost 30 years. Anyways, she's going to be speaking with, Lewis will be speaking with Melanie Godell, who's the Nanaimo Arts Council Board President. She'll be here to tell us why it's been a banner year. All right, but first now, I'm just going to walk over here so Raymond can join me, and you know what? I just got to try to take a nap. I can't seem to do it. I'm just having problems. So I wonder if there's anyone here that could help me figure out how to get a good sleep on the show on Shaw TV.
Thanks, Matt. And I'm here to talk about sleep disorders. More importantly, officially, obstructive sleep apnea. And I'm here with Nicole Cowett, who is with the Provincial Sleep Group. Your title is as a registered respiratory therapist. So can you tell me what OSA is? What's the issues here?
Sure. Obstructive sleep apnea is where the muscles or the tissues at the back of someone's throat relax so far when they're sleeping that it can block off their airway and prevent oxygen from getting into the lungs.
And when that happens when you're trying to sleep?
Yeah, so numerous things happen. Basically, it causes strain on the heart, and with untreated sleep apnea, people can develop high blood pressure, irregular heartbeats, any kind of heart attack, stroke, that sort of thing. But it also gives an adrenaline rush for people to wake up from their deeper stages of sleep, to take a breath of air in. That disturbs the normal sleep cycle, and it can affect anything like metabolism, hormone levels, insulin or glucose levels, anything to do with the normal sleep cycle.
Okay, so what happens is that someone who has this issue or these sleep disorders doesn't normally know it themselves. They're the ones struggling through sleep. Who knows about it? These are the people in the room with them?
Yeah, well, people don't really know what's happening when they're asleep. So if there's a complete obstruction at the back of the throat, it can look like a pause in breathing, followed by a gasp or something. So a bed partner might notice a pause in the breathing. Also snoring. Snoring can signify a partial obstruction, and that can also cause a significant drop in oxygen.
Okay, so what happens for people who sort of observe these kind of symptoms? What would they normally do? Come and see maybe someone like you, a sleep clinician?
Yeah, so we test for sleep apnea, and how we do that is a chest belt that somebody takes home with them and wears at night, a finger piece and a nose piece, 2 nights of testing in their own home, and then they bring it back to us and it's interpreted by a respirologist. Yeah.
So this testing is done back in your own situation, so you don't have to go to your lab or to a lab and get analyzed for sleep at that point?
No, it's about a 30-minute appointment where they meet with a respiratory therapist and they go over what we're even testing for again, what the possible treatments are for sleep apnea, and then they take the kit home themselves and use it.
And people know these things, which are called CPAP machines, or constant positive air pressure machines.
Yes.
We've got a couple samples here, and you show one type of mask system here.
Yeah, so how the CPAP machine works is it pressurizes air, and that continuous pressure splints open the airway, so there's no more obstruction and the air can pass by freely. So this one's actually running here. You can see there's here a little bit, there's a constant
You really
pressure.
don't hear much.
No, yeah, they're silent. They used to be loud, but now they're silent.
And
yeah.
they're fairly compact and portable. Obviously less noisy than the person who would normally be snoring if they didn't have the CPAP machine. What's sort of happening when the machine is on? It also monitors and gives you a reading of what the person's sleep is like?
Yeah, so what we look for when a patient is being tested is how many times they're having those obstructions per hour. This machine also monitors that, so once a patient is on treatment, we can see if it's working for them, we can adjust their pressures, that sort of thing.
Okay, and it tells you, and I should tell everyone that I have some of those issues, so I this is my machine here, and it tells what my situation is for, I guess it's my here it is, here we go. My last nights I had 6.52 hours of sleep and only 2 interruptions per hour. So what it does is it gives you a chance to sleep soundly, be more rested.
Yeah, and it also affects the heart as well. So usually after consistent use, after 4 weeks, we can sometimes see a downward trend in blood pressure if somebody has hypertension or high blood pressure. That's one of the questions we ask, if somebody should be tested or not. If they answer yes to any of these questions, high blood pressure, diabetes, if they snore, if they're excessively tired, morning headaches, also a larger neck circumference can sometimes.
Okay. Well, we have your website, your email, as well as your phone number on the screen. They should contact you at the Provincial Sleep Center. You're right here in Nanaimo, just off Falls Road. So we'll head over to Joanne, who's doing a little different kind of rest.
Yes, thank you so much, Brian. I'm delighted to present Julie Horwood from 6 Persimmons Yoga. She's introduced me to a very wonderful, relaxing kind of yoga, and I would love if you share for people what you've been sharing with me.
Right. Well, we heard that it can be lovingly called sloth yoga. One of my students calls yoga nidra sloth yoga. Essentially, I'll get you, as we'll see later, laying down, relaxed on a mat with lots of blankets and pillows, and then I'll guide you through a meditation, kind of like a meditative massage through the body.
That sounds wonderful.
It is lovely, and it actually has been shown to help people with insomnia.
Oh, great.
With issues about anxiety and depression. So a regular practice has been shown to help with all sorts of issues. And it's a very easy sort of yoga.
Okay.
Anybody can do it. You can do it seated. You can do it lying down. I've even practiced it on a bus in downtown Vancouver.
Wow, what a locale to rest in, right? So I know that you're an RN and that you were motivated to help people find rest with all of this for medical reasons as well, right?
Right, yeah, I've been a nurse for many years and have been teaching yoga for about the last 6 years. And I find that so many people talk about how tired they are, how busy they are. They just can't get enough rest and sleep, and their health starts to suffer because of that. So being a nurse and a yoga teacher, I thought I'd bring together my skills and offer an opportunity for people to rest, to let their bodies go to a place that is actually akin to deep sleep.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The brain waves go into those deep delta and theta brain waves, and we start to heal, and we get that deep rest that we do in sleep. And we can do this in a 45-minute practice.
Well, that's definitely interested in finding out more about that.
busy people.
And for those people who want the information online, they would go to your website, 6-Persimmons-yoga, and
It's actually just 6persimmonsyoga.com.
okay, all right. And of course, you've got a Facebook page as well that's accessible through there.
That's right.
And they could find out about the fact that you've got 2 workshops coming up, one in December.
Yeah, I've got a special guest coming up from Victoria. She's a sleep specialist and a yoga nidra teacher. She's my mentor, Jen Piercy, and she's going to be doing a workshop.
Oh, your mentor, very good.
Yeah, at Hometown Yoga in December. And that's
Okay.
just an afternoon. So really easy for 3 hours to come and have a really good rest and learn more about yoga nidra.
Okay, well, that's great, Julie. We'll talk some more about your workshop coming up in January in the next segment. And meanwhile, it would be great if we toss the ball over to Louis.
Thanks very much, Joanne. Well, tonight it's my privilege to welcome 2 women who are doing some trailblazing, groundbreaking work in this new organization they have co-founded entitled the Let Be Me Learning Foundation. Is that titled correct, ladies?
That's right.
So welcome Lee Hopkins and Carla Schramhorn. Thank you for coming on the show. Now, Lee, I understand you have a background you're a trained teacher with a background in special education. And
Yes, I worked for 8 years running an alternate ed program, and I came in as a support worker and had a fantastic mentor, and eventually we developed our own facility and had 32 students, full and part-time. So I had a lot of great experiences which I brought forward.
excellent. And Carla, you've got 14 years as a teaching assistant. Have I got that correct?
Absolutely. Well, educational assistant we're called nowadays, but yeah, that's correct. Same thing.
So tell me about the Let Me Be Me Learning Foundation. What inspired it? How did it get started?
Well, Carla and I had the opportunity to do some work together, and with both of our backgrounds, we noticed that it oftentimes when people are looking for services for their kids, what you get is one kind of service here and another kind of service there, but it's not really cohesively brought together. So you can get an educational program with some supports in there, but a lot of these families are exhausted. And so they go from picking up a kid in one facility and then taking them for support for speech language here or an appointment there. And we would like to create a hub service so that we're supporting the families as well as the youth. So.
Well, I understand you've got some programs going now. You've only been going a month, is that correct? And you've already got some class.
Just about 2.
2 months, yeah, that's amazing. And so now tell me what these classes you're going. We have actually some photos that we can show from the classes that you're doing, and perhaps you could talk a little bit about what's happening right now, Carla.
Well, we are running full-time educational programs for the kids that we do support at this time. They come to us in the morning like they would to school, and they leave at the end of the day. We do some after-school support as well. This all includes behavioral intervention and respite if needed for the families. So these are services we provide from Let Me Be Me Learning Foundation.
Well, that's very good. So can you talk a little bit about what are some of the goals and objectives that you hope to see down the road for your organization, Lee? Can you talk a bit about that?
Well, we're very interested in sustainability. So what we would like to have is a school environment in which we focus very heavily on that, as well as the education, and bringing a sense of community, having, like I said, the services coming in and creating a sense of community with the other service providers that are in the area. We'd like the kids to have a feeling of belonging, and to engage in all aspects to make a well-rounded experience. So that's our plan.
Collaborating with other facilities, creating events, making sure that the kids all have a place to belong.
So some of the areas that you'll be working on include cultural, like educational, like life skills.
Yes, absolutely.
What are some of the general things you'll be working on in that area?
Well, we're hoping to go out into the community and help these kids find a place, say through activities to start with, things like bowling and joining together at gym activities and stuff like that, so that they learn to use their community for services around them. Hopefully these things will teach them how to function as they age out of programs. And we also hope to help them transition from program to program or from program to life itself.
You've got some people working with you, some dedicated volunteers and staff. Talk a bit about the people you have working with you.
Well, we do have some very devoted families, some board members for our not-for-profit that are also involved in a lot of helping us find our end game. We'd like to have a facility of our own, things of that nature. We've got all kinds of help.
Grant writing and proposal writing from the families and board members that just seem to like what we're doing.
Are behind us, yeah.
Yeah.
They're completely behind us.
Yes.
You're passionate about this.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Well, that sounds awesome. So you're hoping to get your own place soon, and you see great things in the future coming down the pipe?
Absolutely. We're very excited.
So if people want to get hold of you, how would they do that? If they want to access some of your services or to ask more questions, how would they get in touch with you?
We do have a Facebook page now, Lewis, that's available to be viewed. You just have to search us up at Let Me Be Me Learning Foundation. We do have an email address. It's letmebemелf@gmail.com. At that email address, we check that minute by minute. So
Yes.
anything that came through there, we would be right on top of.
Well, that's great, ladies. Listen, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Real privilege to talk to you, and good luck with this. Sounds like you're coming to something really great.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
So I want to throw it over back to Roger and Abbey, who have a song, Whatever Floats Your Boat.
Thank you, Lewis. Thank you. All right. Y'all set? Whatever floats your boat, make it happen, float your boat. For those beams, float your boat. Fill that sail, float your boat down the river of dreams. Cruising a bike through wide open spaces, rocking a grandchild on your knee, climbing that mountain all the way to the top, or bobbing around on the bonny blue sea. Whatever floats your boat, make it happen, float your boat. Gather those beams, float your boat. Fill that sail, float your boat down the river of dreams. Oh, book that trip on an Amazon adventure. Go ahead, jump out of that plane. Fall in love with wild abandon. Fly to Africa, dance in the rain. Whatever floats your boat, make it happen, float your boat. Gather those beams, float your boat. Fill that sail, float your boat down the river of dreams. Start a bucket list of all your desires, ticking them off one by one. Let the heart open up, fill with adventure. Get your butt out there and have some fun. Whatever floats your boat, make it happen, float your boat. Gather those beams, float your boat. Fill that sail, float your boat down the river of dreams. I said float your boat down the river of dreams.
Woo! Nicely done. Nicely done. Awesome, great stuff, great stuff. Roger Welliver and Abbey Grace, thank you guys so much for being here on the show on Shaw TV.
Well, thank you for having us.
Exactly, great stuff. Whatever Floats Your Boat was the song we just heard there, and tell us a little about that song.
Well, actually, my friends built a pond, and someone gave them a little wooden boat to float in their pond. And I go, there you go, whatever floats your boat. And then Pelham just turned around and he said, I want a song by that next week. And there it was.
First inspiration, exactly, from all that stuff. Well, great stuff. And we can't have an interview, of course, without talking about the instrument you've got there. So a cigar box guitar. So
Yes.
tell us a bit about it. What's the deal with that instrument?
Well, originally that instrument came from around Cuba, they think, and plantation owners down there smoking their cigars threw out the cases, and somebody decided that would make a good base for a guitar, and it evolved from there.
Nice. And that particular guitar, you've crafted that yourself, correct?
I did, right from the frets down to the box, to the head, to the tuning pegs, and the electronics.
How long does it take to actually craft something like that?
This one took a little bit longer because this is the very first one I built, and probably the best one I built. Around 16, 18 hours spent on it totally.
Nice.
Yeah.
And obviously, you don't see cigars around as much anymore. So where the heck does one find cigar boxes?
Okay, Nanaimo here has a cigar shop. You can go there and use their used boxes. Victoria has several cigar stores, or you can just go online and order them.
Oh, nice. So different styles. So when picking up the perfect guitar or cigar box for a guitar, what sort of things are you looking for in terms of resonance, or is just looks good?
For the box itself, pretty much whatever looks good. You can use, these are actually wood cases with paper on it. That was the typical. The hinge actually was the paper. But anything that gives you a nice warm tone, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, well, certainly sounded good. And Abbey, I'll ask you, reading up on these guitars, I guess there's no sort of standard tuning. So how do you have the strings there tuned for you?
It's tuned in an open G, and it was the first one we saw. That's how we picked it.
That's right, yeah, because obviously you're holding it up and then just like basically barring the chords with what looks like a bandage there on your finger, but no, so it's just.
Well, actually, it was. I've tried to learn guitar and have some issues, so this was a way for me to just bar it, basically.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I'm a major kind of girl.
Exactly. Major chords there. And I know, speaking to you guys off camera before we got started, consider yourselves both sort of beginning singer-songwriters, musicians, that's true?
Yeah, I started 5 years ago. No musical experience prior.
Oh, wow.
And Abbey has...
About 3 years ago, I started writing, and then I didn't have any way to put music to my songs, so I seen someone playing one of these, so I called Roger up, the famous carpenter cabinet maker, and said, "Can we do this?"
Nice. Very do it yourself. Yeah. So what would you say to anyone out there that maybe maybe doesn't have any music experience but wants to get into it? Is any sort of inspiring words or advice?
Oh, absolutely. Go for it. Something like this is really easy. If you just want a bar chord, you can learn it practically overnight, the basics of it, and go for it. It takes practice, but just go for it. It's a good release.
Perfect. All right, so two last really quick questions. One favorite musician that plays the cigar box guitar?
Well, for me, Paul McCartney.
Jeff Healy.
Jeff Healy, awesome. All right, and finally, any upcoming shows or jams you guys go to where people might be able to see you play?
Serious Coffee, we do that just about every Saturday night. That's an open mic.
The Crown and Anchor up in Qualicum Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that
So
one quite often.
just any of the open
Smoke and
mics
water.
around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I hope to see you guys at open mic. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, Roger Welliver, Abbey Grace, thank you again. We'll hear some more songs here a little bit later. So, again, we'll talk to you in a bit.
Thank you.
All right, in the meantime, though, we're just going to move along right now. And I see, look at this, it's a casual week apparently here at Shaw TV. So I'm just going to relax. Now, obviously, I can't actually move right now. I have no strength in my core. So I think Joanne, should probably actually get some strength training figured out. So I'm going to go have a nap. Thanks, Raymond. Joanne, over to you.
Thank you, Matt. I'm back again with Julie Horwood. She was telling us in the last segment. About the fact that she was presenting a workshop in December, and you also mentioned that you had a retreat coming up in January 2016.
That's right. On January 9th, I'll be offering a full-day workshop where people can rest and just take the whole day to relax, sleep, go for meditations and all sorts of things. So Bethlehem Retreat Center on January 9th.
And again, they can go to your website at 6persimmonsyoga.com and find out about all the details for that. So now, inaction speaks louder than words. I'm going to rest.
Yeah, so when we do a Yoga Nidra class, we get as comfortable as possible, a blanket under the head, a blanket over the body, and even an eye pillow over the eyes, which I just have it beside you there if you want to put it over your eyes, and cuts the light out and helps with relaxation. And so we'll start, and even everybody in the studio, except for the cameramen, of course, could close their eyes and take a nice deep breath. Breathe in through the nose. Feel the air as it touches your nose. Maybe notice the smell in the air. Let your chest rise a little higher with that breath. Feel your ribs expand and then soften with the exhale. A little bit deeper breath, feel your belly rise. Nice. And then exhaling, softening even more. Letting shoulders relax. Letting your jaw relax, maybe letting the teeth come apart a little bit. Fingers are relaxed, just letting the hands be open softly, and all the way down through the body, just checking through hips and legs that everything's relaxed. And now we'll do a little bit of a scan through the body. We'll start down at the feet. Notice your big toes, feeling the big toes, and then all of the other toes. Feeling all the toes together, and now notice your whole feet, heels, soles, tops of the feet. Moving to ankles, knees, and hips. Letting the legs relax and be still here. From the hips, we'll move up through the back body, the lower back, the waist area, up to the ribs, shoulder blades, the tops of the shoulders, and to the front body, across the front of the chest, down to solar plexus and across the belly, and back down to the hips, letting the whole body relax and rest still on the mat. Coming to the hands now, fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, arms relaxed with the rest of the body and legs. And then the head, the face, the forehead, the cheeks, the whole body relaxed. And that brings us to the end of our really abbreviated Yoga Nidra session. I would gently normally bring you out a little bit slower, and hopefully you would have had a nice rest.
I did. I never thought I would have a relaxing moment like this in the middle of the studio, but that was wonderful. Thank you so much for explaining it to us. And
thank you for having me on.
May more of us practice Nidra Yoga.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. You've actually been sleeping for about 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
You know, so we've come to the end of the show.
Time is passing by.
Exactly. Well, great stuff. Julie, thank you so much for being here as well.
Thank
I
you.
personally am feeling so chill I could store leftovers in me for a week. So that's a very good stuff. So I'm going to sit down over here. Hey, Raymond, how's it going up there? Of course, you are watching the show on TV. I'm getting my dirty feet all over the yoga mat, so I'm going to stop doing that immediately. So far, we actually have heard about sleep disorders, about that, and hey, one way to deal with it, some amazing yoga as well. So thanks to Nicole from the Provincial Sleep Group helping us out there. We also learned about the very valuable learning foundation, Let Me Be Me, and I always have huge respect for any folks that they're working in education, helping people learn. So again, thanks to the folks there being here today. We have met our musical guests and heard some music from Roger Welliver and Abbey Grace. Looking forward to some more songs later up. And again, just as we just saw, got our blood flowing yoga style and chilling right out with the first 2 of 4 fitness segments we're going to have here on today's show. Coming up, we're going to be preparing to scare the wits out of Halloween candy calories, working out with Miguel Diaz from Driven Performance. We're also going to learn about the Nanaimo-wide citizen art exhibit known as the Festival of Banners. But right about now, I think it's time to shine a light on folks doing great work in regards to care for those with Alzheimer. So with that, let's throw it over to Brian to find out more. Brian, over to you.
Thanks, Matt. I'm here with Jane Hope, who is the support and education coordinator for the Alzheimer Society of BC for North and Central Vancouver Island. And Jane, there's a lot of issues and a lot of symptoms that people come up with when they have loved ones who are starting to have some memory lapses. What are some of the things that people should look for in terms of symptoms, and who should they come and see?
Okay, so it's not just about memory loss, although that's probably one of the more commonly known symptoms, and that would be memory loss that affects day-to-day function. So if somebody forgets where they put their keys, that's probably not a big deal. But when somebody forgets what their keys are for, that's probably going to cause more of a problem. Difficulty performing familiar tasks, difficulty with language sometimes, like I just almost forgot the word there. All of those sorts of things can say something may be wrong, mild coordination problems, unable to problem solve, being disoriented in time and space. All of these things can say, you know what, there may be something wrong. And the very first thing to do would be go talk to the doctor. Go prepared with a list of symptoms and have a chat with the doctor and see about getting a diagnosis, or see if it's something else that we can actually do something about.
So once, let's say someone has gone through to see their own physician, they have some things that keep starting to evolve and develop. Your office handles all of the central Mid-Island area right up to the North Island. Mm-hmm. What kind of services can you provide for, let's say, the person with Alzheimer's or even their caregivers?
Absolutely. We provide services for both people who are living with dementia as well as caregivers and family members. And so we offer programs and services such as education. We have some education upcoming actually in November for caregivers. We also provide education for people who are in the very early stages of dementia. We offer caregiver support groups for people who are living with early dementia. We offer a program called Minds in Motion, which is probably one of our more fun programs. And it's a social fitness program, so 45 minutes of fitness. And in Nanaimo, it's actually the fitness instructor is Brian, which is great. And then 45 minutes of social time. So it's for people with dementia and a care partner, and they usually have a really good time. Probably our most popular program. And then what else do we offer? Caregiver support groups, education, one-on-one support. We have formal referrals from physicians, so we stay in contact with people. People get referred to us, and then we probably give them a call once every 3 months just to make sure things are going okay. Yeah, that probably covers the majority of it.
When you mentioned the Minds in Motion, and I've got firsthand experience, you've seen it as well, is that there's been some proven literature that exercise actually slows down the memory loss process.
Yes, that's true. It's the one thing that they say that exercise can actually help with memory, but it also helps to rebuild brain cells. So exercise is a wonderful way of slowing down and also preventing issues. We can't say that we can prevent 100% of the time getting dementia, but we can certainly slow it down or slow down the progression, yeah.
Great. As well, the social interaction, because people tend to become isolated. As they start to lose their memory, they lose their confidence. So this is something that we'd want to see people maintain. They should come down to your office, talk to you. You also have a program for initial contact with people, and I think it's called First Link, is it?
So First Link is sort of a name for all of our programs, linking people to programs and services to help them through this journey. But if they come to our office, they can certainly get some help, and we'll point them in the right direction of which services would work best for them.
Okay, and those numbers are all listed on the screen, the email address as well as the telephone number for the local office. And certainly take part in these things. Don't sit at home by yourself or with your loved one who needs that help. Mm-hmm. So let's send it over back to the song with our entertainers, Roger and Abbey, and it's a song called I Miss Grandpa.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is a little song I wrote this summer when I was out camping with my grandkids.
Oh, I miss Grandpa. Precious moments spent with the grandkids. Oh, I miss Grandpa and all the fun things that we did. Love the way his eyes would sparkle whenever the telephone would ring. Although he tried so hard to hide it, those little voices would make his heart sing. Oh, I miss Grandpa. Precious moments spent with the grandkids. Oh, I miss Grandpa and all the fun things that we did. The way he'd throw his arms wide open and they'd all scramble up on his knee, oh, full of laughs and squeals and giggles, his eyes full of love looking over at me. Oh, I miss Grandpa. Precious moments spent with the grandkids. Oh, I miss Grandpa and all the fun things that we did. Oh, to have just one more moment, just to share one more memory. Oh, I miss Grandpa. Precious moments spent with the grandkids. Oh, I miss Grandpa and all the fun things that we did. Oh, I miss Grandpa and all the fun things that we did.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I miss my grandpa too. I really do. I really do. Yes, I'm delighted to present the second person who's going to introduce me to some fitness this evening. It's Mikel Diaz from
Driven Performance Fitness.
There we go. And with the sense of humor that we know Kim quite well, and she suggested we call this segment a booty call since Halloween approaches. So I'm leaving it up to you to strengthen my core. I'm a long-distance runner. I need more work.
All right. So Joanne told me she would like to strengthen and tone her lower body. So we're just going to show you a very short version of what we would do at the gym, right? It's a booty workout, not a booty call. Different kind of show, maybe.
Thank you for clarifying that, Miguel.
Different kind of show, guys. All right, so we're going to start with the squat. The squat is one of the staple exercises for lower body. It incorporates many different muscle groups. So I'm going to ask you to come down and sit into it. Keep your shoulders back. Good. And shift your weight back so that your knees don't pass your toes.
So like
So you go right down and come back up. That's one. Good. Again. Right down. Back up.
Yeah.
All right.
You can feel
Let's
the
keep
quads
going.
warming up already.
You can feel it?
Yeah.
All right, keep going. That's 3. Let's get 10.
Oh my goodness.
Depending on
How much time is left?
depending on how far apart your feet are, you're going to target more the outer part of your thighs or the inner part of your thighs.
Yes, I know.
All right?
It's a little easier if the feet are a little wider apart.
Yes, and us trainers, we are really bad at keeping track of time, so that's probably more than 10. So now I'm going to ask you to...
I like your way of counting.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you to switch to lunges. Lunges are really great as well. It's basically a split stance, and you're going to focus on bringing this knee straight down.
And
push
keep
on
it
that
not...
heel, get back up. Good. That's 1. Back down. Back up. Good. Let's do 10 per side, please. I'm keeping track this time. 3. I got
losing
you.
my balance here.
4. This is great. Every exercise where you are off center forces you to engage your core to maintain that balance.
Definitely.
So again, I think that's 8, 9, and 10. Come back up. Let's switch legs, please. All right.
And I know about not getting the knee going.
That's
over
right. So you want to go straight down. That back knee should go straight down. Come back up. Perfect. Push down on that heel.
There we go. Yeah, it feels better when you have apply pressure equally on the foot.
How are your quads feeling?
Good. Good. They're warming up. That's for sure. Yeah.
We start a little bit easier, and then we increase the difficulty a little bit.
Oh, but the time must be running out
That's
by now,
8.
right?
All right.
Okay.
So now we're going to try just a slightly more difficult squat. So I'm going to ask you to come right down. And until your thighs are parallel to the floor. Good. Bring your shoulders back to strengthen, to keep your core engaged. And let's hold it there for 20 seconds, please. That was 20 seconds.
Let me
Good
try
job.
that again. It's getting warm under
Round
these legs
2.
too. Okay, so what would I do, like when I was doing the holding that, what could I do to improve my positioning as I'm holding?
Something that helps a lot is if you're doing this at home, you can do it in front of the mirror, and then you can see where your back goes. So it's hard to tell if you can't see yourself, but it'll look like this with your shoulders rounded.
So this is how it's really done, folks.
This is how it should not be done, and this is how it should be
done.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll come back for round 2 with Miguel, and we'll talk about something else to do with Halloween and fitness. Thank you. And we're throwing once again to Louis.
Thank you very much, Joanne. So my guest to this segment of the show is Michelle Godel. Melanie, close.
Makes me look better.
Melanie Godel, the president of the Nanaimo Arts Council. Welcome to the show, Melanie.
Thank you so much.
Glad to have you. So tell me about the Nanaimo Arts Council. Why does it exist?
Well, the Nanaimo Arts Council is the only nonprofit organization in Nanaimo with a mandate to actually serve all of the creative arts. So that's visual arts, literary arts, and the performing arts. And then we also do the Vancouver Island Short Film Festival, so film as well. Yeah, and so our mandate, our mission is to be a catalyst for creative community, and a big part of that is just making creativity accessible to everybody.
So it's a kind of a clearinghouse for all the arts, the visual arts, the performing arts, and every branch of the arts. So that's really good.
Exactly.
So how long has the Nanaimo Arts Council been in existence?
Oh my goodness, since the 60s really. We've been in Nanaimo Northtown Center where we had a gallery for some years, but recently we've had some really exciting changes. So we moved actually into the downtown heart of the Arts District. So we're now at number 4 Commercial Street as of September. And so in that location, we're still working out some kinks, getting set up and all of that, but pretty soon going to be open to the public.
Well, I understand you're going to be having an open house soon, is that true?
That's right, yeah. So next Friday, or on Friday, October 30th, we're having an open house from 3 to 6 p.m. where we invite the public to come in. We're going to have some music, we're going to have food, prizes, a fun photo booth. We're going to have information. We're going to have opportunities for people to give us feedback about what they want to see from the Arts Council. And it's also, on the second side of that spectrum, it's also a showcase of one of our programs, the Festival of Banners.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Festival of Banners? I think we have some photos. Perhaps you could tell us, while the photos are running, you could tell us a little bit about the festival.
For sure. So the Festival of Banners has been going for 29 years now. I'm sure you've all seen when you're driving down the street those beautiful, beautiful hand-painted banners that decorate our streets, that decorate our city from May until October. So they've just come down. And what we're doing now is we're putting a few of them on showcase at our downtown location, and then we're going to have one location at Nanaimo North Town Center, and all of these banners are now for sale. Yeah.
Well, that is excellent. Well, I understand that Nanaimo was voted the cultural capital of Canada for 2008. Now, that's, I think, something that Nanaimo people can be proud of.
Oh, absolutely. And the Festival of Banners is a really great way to showcase the talent, young and old, amateur and professional, that exists in Nanaimo, put it on that stage for everybody to see, for everybody to experience the culture that we have here in Nanaimo. It's very rich and a very fantastic program. It was actually run by the Nanaimo Art Gallery up until last year, and this year was our first year co-presenting, and next year the Nanaimo Arts Council is taking it over fully. And it's exactly the kind of program that is perfect for the Nanaimo Arts Council to be running.
So what's happening in the future with the Nanaimo Arts Council? I understand you got a fundraiser going. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So after our open house event next Friday, we're going to have our AGM in November, on November 12th. So we're going to have a silent auction. And then later on in November, on the 27th, we're opening our fundraising showcase. It's a visual art showcase in which we're asking our members, we're asking volunteers, we're asking the public to paint 10 by 10 canvases in their own style, but not to sign it. It's an anonymous showcase. All the pieces are the same size. They're all on the same kind of canvas, and they're all going to be displayed, but you're not going to know whose work is whose, and they're all going to be the same price. So it creates a little bit of intrigue about the artists in Nanaimo, some of them more well-known, some of them lesser known, but really putting all of that talent on display, and all of those proceeds go to the Nanaimo Arts Council.
So it's an opportunity for the people of Nanaimo to get to know some of the artists in their community.
Yes,
and to celebrate the artistic talent that's here.
Yeah.
You said something like that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the arts are really sometimes not given the kind of credit that they really deserve. You know, the role of the arts in the community is could be greatly appreciated. Would you say that that's true?
Oh, absolutely. And one thing that we're really looking to do in our new space is to cater more to all of those disciplines that I spoke about before. Rather than just being a visual art gallery, we want to be interdisciplinary and be able to offer services, offer our space for all kinds of groups from all walks of the creative arts.
That's wonderful. Well, Melody, thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight. And good success with all the work that your council is doing. So now I'd like to throw it over to Joanne with an interview with the Candy Christ Centre.
Okay, thank you, Louis. I'm back for part 2 of my interview here with Miguel Diaz from, again, please state the fitness center.
Driven Performance.
Thank you very much. And Miguel, it's a family affair at Driven Performance. He and his wife, Katie, work at the center together. And just wanted to mention to everyone here that they've got a little boy, and they just acquired it 3 days ago. Their little daughter was born. So congratulations on becoming a parent yet again, Miguel.
Thank you.
And what we're going to talk about in this segment is what we call, or what I should say, Miguel has named the Candy Crisis Center. So please tell us about that.
Well, it's temptation is everywhere, right? And for those of us that are trying to stay conscious of our health and what we eat and what we put in our bodies, it's amazing how quickly it can add up, little bits here and there. So Halloween is around the corner, and something that we've noticed that many people we may not be aware of is that in just 100 grams of the average Halloween candy, there can be over 500 calories, 500 to 700 calories. That's well over a third of the calories that the average person needs in a whole day, just in one 100 grams of candy,
Yeah,
right?
like a handful.
Yeah, so it's incredible. So what we came up with is we set up the Candy Crisis Center to help people get rid of the temptation. So what you do is at our gym, we set up a display, and there's a garbage can. You can bring your candy in a bag and put your contact information in a piece of paper in there, put it in the garbage can, and for getting rid of that temptation, which we'll donate to Fishes and Loves, it will get you 2 weeks of unlimited workouts from our boot camp, completely free for you to try it out, get started, and it'll also give you a private consultation with myself to talk about what your fitness goals are, how much weight you'd like to lose, and what amount of time, and how you can get there safely.
Okay, and it sounds like you've been very passionate, and I saw evidence on your website of a number of success stories. So it sounds like this will bring more people to know about how to eat mindfully and to engage in fitness. We heard in another segment that exercise helps keep your brain healthy as well. So it sounds like a wonderful way to entice people to take part in some new fitness regimens that could change their lives.
Exactly. It's not about making such significant changes that feel overwhelming. It's about making small changes and small adjustments to our daily habits that will add up over time and lead to a fitness transformation of 60, 80, 100 pounds.
Okay, and I can just speak for the workout that I did, the little mini one. My quads feel stronger. There's quarters that could bounce off of these. They're getting stronger. So it's good that to have you here tonight and
thank you so much.
And to look at all the options that are out there to make us feel better and happier and whole in our health. Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is the first time I'm going to walk in on a segment and not steal the food from the end of the show. I must admit, exactly. Thank you so much. Just listening to your program again.
Thank you.
Great stuff for again helping people get in shape, and yeah, obviously not only Halloween but Thanksgiving and into Christmas. Lots of calorie-laden opportunities.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
And thanks, Joanne, for all your work. 4 exercise segments, fitness segments on the show today.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Excellent. I got to say, I must admit, Halloween in terms of exercise, it's a great time to exercise your demons, as it were, because there are, of course, lots of demons on Halloween, you know. And I was thinking about Halloween. I actually couldn't remember my best costume, but I was hoping this segment might jog my memory, you know. But sometimes I just can't remember squat, as it were. So I can't remember squat. What? No? Okay. Anyways, so by the way, I also warn you out there, please do not go to a gym on Halloween, because that is the night of the lifting dead. All right, I'm lifting dead. All right, so I tell you, and if it actually is snowing on Halloween, I'll dress up as the Abdominable Snowman. Abdominable Snowman. All right, there we go. You got to be kidding, says our director. All right. All right, I also want to send a shout out to all those parents out there. You know, your kids go trick-or-treating, the candy come home, and you just like that, perfect example. Thanks, buddy. And, so, you know, if you're one of those parents that actually like withholds those treats from your kids for a while, I tell you, they might be really mad, but at least you've taught them some weight training. At least you've taught them some weight training. All right, the last thing, the final word, that was really bad, says Joanne. And the final word on the federal election, I don't know if you heard about that exercising fish who actually, he actually ran for the Bloc Québécois. When he won, he flexed his Gilles bicep. Gilles bicep. Gilles bicep. Anyways, all right, we got to get out of here before I get more of these things thrown at me. So huge thank you to our guests, all of our hosts and volunteers, staff in front of and behind the cameras. Hey, you can find us on Facebook, don't you know? Facebook.com/The Show on Shaw. You can also get information on the show on Shaw TV here in Central Vancouver Island, on Twitter. Check us out there. And hey, if you want to be on the show as a guest, just send a note to our executive producer, Kate Bergen, kate.bergen@sjrb.ca. If you want to volunteer for the show, you want to be a host, get involved with us here, drop a line to our volunteer organizer, Melissa Hall. That's melissa.hall@sjrb.ca. A huge thank you to our sponsors, Mambo's, who, again, we'll be exercising soon, but let's get some Mambo's pizza in us to get through the day. Appreciate those guys downtown. And tune in 2 weeks' time for episode number 100. Yeah. Very, very, very proud. Exactly, get into that. So again, thanks to all the folks. We'll be talking more about them in the next episode as well, getting us to 100. Anyways, to finish off episode number 99, one more song from Roger Welliver and Abbey Grace, a little soon, called Come On Baby. You're watching the show right here on Shaw TV.
Thank you. I told my baby just the other day it's time for us to go out and play. Dressing all up, dancing night away. Oh, come on, baby, what do you say? Beep bop, boogie on down. Beep bop a loop bop, boogie to town. Come on, baby, boogie on down. Yeah, let's go to town and have some fun, swinging and a-singing till the band is done. Hop in the truck, riding shotgun, party by the river till the morning sun. I told my baby just the other day, it's time for us to go out and play. Dressed all up, dancing night away. Oh, come on, baby, what do you say? Beep bop a loop bop, boogie around. Beep bop a loop bop, boogie on down. Beep bop a loop bop, boogie to town. Come on, baby, boogie on down. Well, life's too short, let's give it a whirl. A good old boy and his good time girl. I told my baby just the other day, it's time for us to go out and play. Dressing all up, dancing night away. Oh, come on, baby, what do you say? Beep bop a loop bop, boogie around. Beep bop a loop bop, boogie on down. Beep bop a loop bop, boogie to town. Come on, baby, boogie on down. A beep bop a loop bop, boogie around. Beep bop a loop bop, boogie on down. Beep bop a loop bop, boogie to town. Come on, baby, boogie on down. Yeah, come on, baby, boogie on down.
Thank you. Thanks.